Hello and welcome back to another episode of Moviegoons. I'm your host, Matthew Grant, and today I'm going to continue on with my Cobra Kai review. I've been watching Cobra Kai now for the last 2 weeks. I'm trying to watch about 2 episodes a week whilst doing my other reviews and so on as well. So I'm doing 2 episode reviews in each video. Last time I watched the first 2 episodes. Okay, it was all to do with Johnny Lawrence's angle and the angle with Danny LaRusso. Okay, both have like a part to play. So it was one was about his side of the story in a way, what's happened with him, and the other one was all to do with what happened with Danny LaRusso as well. Both are playing off one another really well. The chemistry is still there from the movie. Yes, they're a lot more grown up, a lot more mature, so they don't have the childish adolescence and so on in little games that they play. But the games, in a way, are still there, which I really love. But the last 2 episodes I just watched now, episodes 3 and 4, they are more or less now setting up the story, which is very similar that was in the actual movie. They're taking elements apart. And they're taking some of the best elements. Yes, it's a bit of a rehash, a little bit, but they're putting new characters into it. Okay, then you got Miguel in the mix. Okay, you saw Miguel in the first episode, and a little bit in the second, but now it's all to do with the new generation as well, with Danny LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence pretty much still at each other's throats in a way, but they're still being grown up about it, except for a couple of little jokes that they do play. But the animosity between the two is still there, okay? They both still don't like one another, okay? And that's the good part about this, okay? Because in the other review, I wasn't sure who's my favourite character. I'm leaning towards Johnny Lawrence's character a bit more than Danny LaRusso, because he's getting a bit more screen time, I think. I do believe he's getting a bit more screen time, and plus, you do feel generally sorry for the guy as well, trying to pick his life up, and he's in a bit of a mess, and he's trying to make the best of a bad situation, and now he's got a bit of opportunity now to bring back the Cobra Kai. He's only got his one student, which is Miguel. Okay, almost very similar to what happened with Mr. Miyagi saving Danny LaRusso at the Halloween dance. Okay, so you have that element, especially when you have that with Johnny Lawrence, with Miguel. I really thought that was a really good angle to play. So it's been a lot of role reversal away from the film. So you do feel quite sorry for Johnny Lawrence, okay, more than Danny LaRusso, but you do feel sorry for Danny LaRusso in a different way. Okay, not because he got the success and so on, but his family and him and his daughter, there's a bit of a fracture there as well. It's all to do with their siblings, okay? Because Johnny Lawrence's character, his son, he doesn't see his son. He kind of like walked out on him and his partner and so on as well. And it's just he and Daniel is there for his daughter, and it's kind of like grew apart a little bit. She's getting a bit more older, so she's chasing guys. And I don't think he approves, because he sees her as sort of that baby girl, which most fathers do see their daughters as baby girls, you know. I'm going children myself, so I can't really sort of comment, but I know a lot of people do, especially some of my friends anyway. But this is a good thing about this series. It's putting quite a few real elements into it and having a bit of fun as well. And it's still it's still believable in a way, but still having a bit of fun with the story. So now in this particular story now, the plot is starting to thicken. You got some more characters coming to the mix. You got Miguel. He's taking up lessons from Johnny at the Cobra Kai, and he's not the best, but he is slowly building himself up, because the moment by doing all this, all the karate, is giving him a bit of a sense of purpose, a bit of a sense of how can I say, confidence, okay? And this social circle he's got, they're kind of like nerdy and geeks, they're kind of like outcasts, and just like normal boys, basically, won't go and talk to girls, they won't talk to them because they're nervous and so on. And then you got the sports type people who just go wrong, and they'll be able to talk to a woman, or girl, whatever, and they're able to get the girl quite easily, okay? And now Johnny Lawrence is taking Miguel under his wing, so to speak, and and say, right, if you want to be able to get girls, he's doing it the old-fashioned way. Like, you know, you want to be a hot ass, you want to be someone that can kick someone's ass, and so on. Using that sort of like late 80s, early 90s sort of like way, you know. So it's still, it doesn't work, but it works, and it shows how Johnny is a bit detached from the times, okay, and I like that. It's almost like a man out of time, like with Captain America, you know. I find that really quite chuckle, and some things he does, I just chuckle, and I love seeing Johnny on screen because he's such a fun character. Same with Dan LaRusso. Seeing him on screen with his family dynamic and seeing with his business as well, and try and make it work, not make it work, it's always quite successful, and see how he interacts with people and customers, I chuckle at that as well. But the whole thing about the Cobra Kai, when LaRusso sort of sees the billboard or sees the strip mall, and he just calls on in and says like, you're back to the same old thing, you're never going to change, and so on. And that's how come the rivalry starts up again. So it just opens old wounds. That's what it's all about. It's about opening those old wounds. And the series now is really starting to develop. It's bringing in a lot more new characters. It's more dynamic as well. And you've got some really good storylines coming through as well. Especially that there's a lot of bullying. It tackles bullying as well. It tackles quite a lot of things. Cyberbullying, actual physical bullying as well. It's tackling all that and said, right, okay, and it's giving kids the power to do it, to take control of their own lives, and I think that's quite powerful in the series. It's doing something which I haven't seen happen in a long, long time. It tackles, I mean, for me, especially with old TV shows like Beverly Hills 90210 with the drug element and stuff like that, and the anorexic and so on as well. It's tackling, it's not doing that, but it's doing a version of that, okay, with the bullying and cyberbullying and the whole network of friends and the circle of friends as well, and trying to be the popular one and stuff like that as well, and how the stories go around schools as well. So it's almost like Mean Girls come Karate Kid in a way, which is definitely fun. But like I said, this show is a bit of a breath of fresh air. I mean, I'm a massive fan of Karate Kid, and I was never a big fan of the teen dramas, never was. But this is not just a typical teen drama in any way, because it's not. But I'm really enjoying this show, and I'm really enjoying where it's going to go. And it is going to be a rehash of the film in some ways, okay? Especially where you got the training and the board breaking, and you got some of the punishments as well, like doing press up on your knuckles or things like that, and now you got the rekindling of like a father and daughter relationship as well. You got that happening, and because this episode was dedicated to Mr. Miyagi's character, who died back in 2007, I think. I can't remember. I can't pronounce his name. But when he died back in 2007, and there was a bit of a homage of him giving Daniel help, because he went to try and do some soul searching on what to do as well with his daughter and the whole situation, and he did get some advice from beyond the grave of Mr. Miyagi, which was a nice touch. So it is going to be a bit of a rehash there, and those memories as well, when at the ball, where you see Miguel walk around in a costume of the skeleton, which was from the first film, and you got some flashbacks of him getting beaten up with the skeletons and so on, which I thought that was really nice as well. So this whole series is about opening old wounds really, as well, and see how these characters sort of interact with after about nearly 30 years of difference as well, and see how much they changed. I mean, there's been a lot of changes between the two characters. Yes, they've grown up and so on, but they are pretty much the essence of the same characters where it was back in the film. And I'm loving the links that they're doing to the film. It's not too heavy. It's not too heavy, but it's done just right. So I'm loving that mix. The story now is starting to develop now as well. Okay, that Johnny Lawrence now is opening his Cobra Kai. He's not doing too well. He's not a very good businessman compared to Daniel Russo with his car lots. So he is struggling, and you do feel for him as well, because you want, in a way, you want him to succeed, but you don't want him to be the same person back when he was a kid. He is in a way, but not exactly. He's just trying to make ends meet. He's trying to make up for his past wrongs, okay? And he sees something in Miguel. He really does, because he's taken him under his wing. When he got beaten up as well, his mother said forbid him to go back to the dojo and train. And then Johnny Lawrence kind of like just made amends and shown he was a bigger person and apologized for the whole situation as well. So which I didn't expect from the TV series. I was like, yeah, I'm really digging that. But and the whole rivalry now between Johnny Lawrence, and he played a prank as well on one of the billboards. He defaced it by putting a penis in the mouth on Daniel Russo's car lot poster, and I did actually find that funny. And a lot of people find that funny, and seeing Daniel Russo not really sort of finding that funny and going after the wrong person, okay, and seeing the commercial as well, which is a bit of a rip-off on what he does. His is very phony, and his is very real, because Daniel Russo is quite a sincere person in this series, very sincere. But when he gets it wrong, he got it wrong in this as well. He's making mistakes. He's going about things the wrong way. That's the reason why I feel the roles have been sort of switched between the two. He goes after Lawrence and goes after his livelihood, which I thought was a bit of a dick move to do. And he calls him a prick, and I said that some people just don't change and so on in the series, and I'm just thinking, well, no, he has changed, but you've changed as well, because that role reversal, which I find to be a really good dynamic of the series. And he tries to, try and purchase the land, but by doing that, he stiffed himself on purposely to the guy who owns that mall area and the row shops by putting his rates up high, and it's making it difficult for Johnny to make up with the payments for the rent. But the thing is as well, there was an after effect which I found to be a bit wrong on what Dan Russo did, was he didn't really quite think it through properly, and it just cascaded to other people's livelihoods as well. So he's kind of meddled, not just one person, but a few people who are affected by that one person. In a way, for me, that was a dick move, really. And now Daniel is getting in touch back with his roots as well, getting guidance from Mr. Miyagi as well, which I find to be very, very quaint. So this series now at the moment is shaping to something great, and the two characters playing off one another. I'm really enjoying that. But anyway, let's go to the couple of characters I just introduced, okay? You got the typical bullies, okay? I'm not going to talk about them. But Miguel's character, that's something I do need to talk about. He is almost like LaRusso when he was a kid, okay? And he hasn't got the father figure. He hasn't got the mentor, just like LaRusso. And he sees that sort of figure in Lawrence in a way, which I find to be really good. Very, very well put together, that, and I like the changes that they've done there. Then you've got Lawrence's son. He's making a bit more of appearance in the series as well, and he doesn't like his father, and something's changing. I don't know how that's going to pan out, and I can't wait to see how that unfolds as well, because he sees Johnny Lawrence is giving Miguel an old suit, a karate suit, and giving him a bit of a hug as well, and he sees that and he just walks away. So I don't know how that's going to work, if that's going to play a bit of an element with Johnny and his son and so on. And now you've got LaRusso's daughter as well, almost like rekindling, reconnecting with her father, because he was kind of right about the boy as well, and he's the same boy as well that's been bullying Miguel. And the fight scene between them both on two occasions. The first one was really quite good, and he didn't know how to defend. He just kicked him. He didn't have to defend himself against about 4 other people, or him and 4 people altogether, and he gets a bit of a shoeing as well. And that's how come his mother sort of forbid him from training again. But now he's back to being training again. He's learning defense, and he does kick their asses. And that little fight scene was so well choreographed, so well put together. It played to everybody's strengths, and it was a fun scene as well in the cafeteria. So they're getting a lot of things right with this series, and it just, yes, okay, like I said, it is a rehash, and a lot of things at the moment are rehashes at the moment, but this one is a rehash, but it's very good to the source material. It's doing something different, done something old, and bring it together and changing little elements here and there just to make it enough different. And like I said, that role reversal in a way, that is so good, and I'm really enjoying this series, and this is something I can't wait to see more. So I'm about 4 episodes in. I've got another 6 more to do, so there'll be another couple more. I'll be watching, like I say, in twos, just to give a bit of an overview of the other episodes and see how I'm feeling. But each episode is going to be almost like a scale. Who I'm leaning towards this week, who I'm not leaning towards, and so on. But at the moment, though, I'm leaning towards Johnny at the moment, because he is such a fun character to watch. So I'm really enjoying his character development, really, and Miguel's as well, and that whole friendship and bond that they're slowly bringing up as well. So let's see how that pans out. So this is moviegoons signing on until next time. Okay, there will be another episode soon, hopefully in about a week's time. Okay, I got a few reviews I got to get through, and so on as well. So so this is moviegoons signing out until next time. I'll see you guys and girls later. Take care. Bye bye.